But before we understand what happened next, you need to know who Marcus Hayes really was. Marcus woke up every morning at 5 a.m. in a one-bedroom apartment on the south side of town. Rent was $720 a month. He made $14 an hour at Hillside Auto Repair. Do the math. That's $1,680 after taxes. Rent and utilities took $900. That left $780 for everything else. He ate a lot of ramen, a lot of peanut butter sandwiches. He didn't complain, because complaining didn't fix anything. Every morning he looked at the only photograph in his apartment, his mother, Angela Hayes, smiling in a yellow dress. She'd been gone for 3 years, cancer, stage 4, no insurance. Marcus was 16 when she died. The last thing she ever said to him was this: "Promise me you'll be good, not rich, not famous, just good. Help people when you can." Marcus had promised, and for 3 years, he'd kept that promise every single day. 2 weeks after the crash, a black Mercedes pulled into Hillside Auto Repair. David Chen stepped out in an expensive suit. "Marcus, this is Mr. Chen. Says you saved his life. Good to see you on your feet, sir." David didn't waste time. "Marcus, I run Chen Industries. We manufacture industrial parts. I need a shop foreman, someone to run our fleet maintenance. The job pays $62,000 a year, full benefits, health, dental, vision, 4 weeks paid vacation, $62,000. Marcus did the math instantly, more than double what he made now. "Why are you offering this to me?" "Because I called 3 shops in this county, asked who the best young mechanic was. All 3 said your name." Marcus sat there, hands folded. "I appreciate it, Mr. Chen. I really do. But I can't leave Jimmy. He gave me a job when I was 16 and didn't know anything. I owe him." David nodded. "I respect that." He pulled out a business card. "If you change your mind, call me." Marcus sat in that office for a long time after David left, staring at that card, thinking about $62,000 a year, thinking about health insurance, thinking about his mother's last 6 months when they couldn't afford treatment, thinking about the promise he'd made, to be good, to help people. But what if you couldn't help people when you couldn't even help yourself? He picked up the card. Marcus gave Jimmy 2 weeks' notice. On his last day, Jimmy handed him an envelope. Inside was a check for $2,000. "What's this?" "Bonus. For 3 years of the best work I've ever seen." "Jimmy, I can't." "Yeah, you can. Because I'm old and stubborn. Just don't forget where you came from. And when you're running some big operation someday, hire a kid like you, the kind nobody else will take a chance on." Marcus started at Chen Industries the following Monday. David gave him an empty warehouse and a budget of $150,000. "Build me a proper shop, whatever you need." Over 3 months, Marcus built that shop from nothing. He worked 12-hour days, not because anyone asked him to, because it mattered. By January, the shop was running. Marcus had hired 3 mechanics, all older than him, all skeptical of their 19-year-old boss. But Marcus didn't manage with authority. He managed with respect. When things went wrong, he got under the lift and helped fix them. By March, those 3 mechanics would have followed Marcus anywhere, and David Chen watched from his office window. He watched Marcus arrive first every morning, leave last every night, treat every job like it mattered. David realized something. He hadn't just given Marcus a job, he'd found someone who actually cared. 8 months later, everything changed. David collapsed in his office at 2:17 p.m. Heart attack. Massive. The kind that kills you. He survived. Barely. 3 days later, he woke up in the ICU. His ex-wife Jennifer sat beside him. "The hospital called me. I'm still your emergency contact. The kids, they're coming." David closed his eyes. His kids. Emily, 22. Michael, 19. He barely knew them anymore. The doctor was blunt. "You had a widowmaker, Mr. Chen. You're lucky to be alive, but if you don't make serious changes, the next one will kill you." David thought about the office he'd collapsed in, the 60-hour weeks, the nights sleeping on the couch because going home felt like wasting time. He thought about Marcus Hayes, a 19-year-old kid who made $14 an hour and still found time to pull a stranger out of a burning car. David had spent 47 years building a fortune, and Marcus had more wealth than he'd ever have. Because Marcus had a reason to be alive, that wasn't money. Marcus heard about the heart attack from his team. That evening, he did something he'd never done. He drove to the hospital. The ICU nurse tried to turn him away. Family only. Then Jennifer appeared. "You're Marcus, aren't you? David talks about you. Come on." David was awake in bed, thinner, pale, but alive. "Hey, what are you doing here? Heard you were sick. Wanted to check on you." They sat in awkward silence. Then Marcus asked the question he'd been thinking about the whole drive. "Mr. Chen, why'd you really give me that job? You created that position for me, didn't you?" David didn't deny it. "How'd you figure that out?" "Took me a while. But I'm not stupid. So why?" David was quiet. Then he spoke. "You pulled me out of a burning car. You wouldn't take money for it. You said your mum taught you not to take money for doing what's right. I spent my whole life taking money for doing what's profitable. Not what's right. Just profitable. Then I met you, a kid making $14 an hour who had more character in his pinky than I've had in my entire life. I gave you that job because I wanted to do one good thing. One thing that wasn't about profit. You deserved it, Marcus." Marcus's eyes burned. "Thank you. Don't thank me. You earned every dollar. You built that shop from nothing. You show up every day and you care." David's voice cracked. "I've been running a company for 25 years and I forgot how to care. But you never did." Marcus came back every day for 2 weeks until David was released. He didn't come because David was his boss. He came because that's who Marcus Hayes was. He showed up for people. David came back to work 6 weeks later, but he came back different. He cut his hours, started leaving at 5 p.m., had dinner with his kids every Sunday, started walking every morning, and he started spending time in the shop. Not to supervise, just to watch someone who loved what they did. One afternoon, Catherine called. "The mayor's office wants to talk about the Civic Award." "What Civic Award?" "They're giving Chen Industries the Community Impact Award for the apprenticeship program." "What apprenticeship program?" David pulled up the file. "Chen Industries Youth Apprenticeship Program. Approved 3 months ago while he was in the hospital. Approved by Marcus Hayes." David walked to the shop. "Marcus, what's this?" Marcus looked embarrassed. "Oh, that. When you were in the hospital, a kid came by looking for work. 16 years old, just like I was. No experience, no options. I thought about Jimmy, how he took a chance on me. So I drew up a proposal. 6-month paid apprenticeships for kids who can't afford trade school. I funded the first one myself, out of my salary. Figured if it worked, I'd ask you to expand it." David stared at the proposal. Professional. Detailed. This wasn't a kid with a wrench. This was a leader. "Marcus, I'm promoting you. Official Operations Director, $95,000 a year. You're not just an employee, you're what this company should be." The gala was 3 weeks later. Marcus wore a borrowed suit that was too short. The mayor called David to the stage to accept the award. David walked up. Then he did something nobody expected. "Thank you, Mayor. But I didn't create this program. I didn't even know about it. Marcus Hayes created it. A 19-year-old mechanic who remembered what it was like to need a chance." He walked off the stage and handed the award to Marcus. Marcus stood there holding a crystal plaque, in a suit that didn't fit, in front of 300 people. And for the first time since his mother died, Marcus felt like maybe he'd kept his promise. Be good. Help people. 2 years later, Marcus stood in front of a brand new building. 2 stories, glass and steel. A sign above the entrance read, Hayes Technical Academy. David walked up beside him, surprised. "What is this?" "It's a partnership between Chen Industries and the community college. A full-time trade school, mechanics, welding, electrical, all of it. We're starting with 60 students, full scholarships, job placement guaranteed." David pulled out a key. "We're calling it the Angela Hayes Memorial Program, after your mother." Marcus's vision blurred. The building has 6 shop bays, 4 classrooms, and an office for the director. The position pays $120,000 a year. David put his hand on Marcus's shoulder. You gave me a second chance at life twice. Once when you pulled me from that car. Once when you showed me what it means to actually care. This is me paying it forward. Marcus couldn't speak, so he hugged David Chen, right there in the parking lot of a building that bore his mother's name. The Angela Hayes Memorial Technical Academy opened 4 months later with 63 students. On opening day, Marcus stood in front of them. My name is Marcus Hayes. 10 years ago, I was exactly where you are. 16, my mom had just died. No money, no family, no idea what I was doing. A man named Jimmy gave me a job. He didn't have to, but he took a chance on me. Everybody in this room has been told you're not good enough. I'm here to tell you that every single person who said that was wrong. If you show up every day and you care about your work and you help people when you can, you will be successful. Not maybe, will be. A girl in the second row raised her hand. How do you know we won't fail? Marcus smiled. Because I'm living proof, and I'm going to make sure you get the same chance I got. That's a promise. That first class graduated 18 months later. 58 completed the program, all employed within 30 days. 5 years later, Marcus married one of his students, Jenna Rodriguez, a welder, the best he'd ever trained. David Chen walked Marcus down the aisle, not because Marcus asked, because Marcus didn't have anyone else. Jennifer sat in the second row crying happy tears. The man she'd divorced had finally become the man she'd married. 10 years after Marcus pulled David from that burning BMW, the academy had graduated 843 students. Marcus never got rich, but he had something better. He had a wife who loved him, students who looked up to him, a purpose that mattered. On his desk was a photograph, his mother in her yellow dress. Beside it, her last note, promise me you'll be good. Not rich, not famous, just good. Help people when you can. Marcus had kept that promise every single day, and that promise had changed everything. Not just for him, for David Chen, who learned that wealth without meaning is just expensive emptiness. For 843 students who got a chance. For Jimmy, who closed his shop knowing the kid he hired had changed the world. And for Angela Hayes, who died believing her son would be okay. She was right. He was more than okay. He was good. And that was everything. David Chen lived to be 78. He retired at 65 and spent his time volunteering at the academy. When he died peacefully, surrounded by family, his will had one final surprise. He left his entire estate, $43 million, to the Angela Hayes Memorial Technical Academy. Enough money to keep it running forever. Enough to give chances to thousands of kids who deserved them. At the funeral, Marcus stood at the podium. 10 years ago, I pulled a man out of a burning car. I didn't know who he was. I didn't ask for anything. I just helped, because that's what my mother taught me. That man was David Chen, and helping him changed my life. But David saved my life too. He gave me opportunities I never dreamed of. He built a school in my mother's name. But more than that, he showed me it's never too late to change. David spent the first half of his life chasing money. He spent the second half giving it away. And in doing that, he became the richest man I ever knew. Not in dollars, in what actually matters. Marcus looked at the casket. Thank you, David, for everything, for believing in me, for showing me that one person really can change the world. You changed mine. The church was silent except for the sound of people crying. Not sad tears, grateful ones. Now let me tell you why this story matters. Not just for Marcus, not just for David, for you. Right now, in your life, there is someone struggling, someone working 2 jobs, someone brilliant but invisible because they're wearing the wrong uniform or living in the wrong zip code. You walk past them every day. The person who cleans your office, the teenager bagging your groceries, the single parent working the night shift. They're there, right in front of you, and all they need is one person to see them, One person to say, "You matter. You're worth investing in." Marcus could have died at 19 making $14 an hour. But because David Chen said, "I see you," Marcus went on to change 843 lives. That's not luck. That's recognizing potential and refusing to waste it. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Not tomorrow, today. Notice someone. Really notice them. Ask about their life, their dreams, what they're good at. That quiet coworker might speak 4 languages. That delivery driver might be a brilliant mechanic. That janitor might have a gift nobody's bothered to see. And if you find that gift, do something about it. You don't need $43 million. You just need to see someone and say, "You're worth a chance." Because you never know. That person might save your life someday, or they might save someone else's, or they might just become the kind of person who makes the world a little bit better. And that's everything. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, someone who feels invisible, someone who's forgotten their own worth. Leave a comment. Tell me about a time someone took a chance on you, or a time you took a chance on someone else. Subscribe if you haven't already. Because there are Marcus Hayeses everywhere, and their stories deserve to be told. Remember, the most valuable thing you can give someone isn't money. It's being seen. It's being believed in. It's someone saying, "You matter." Be that person for someone today, because you never know whose life you might save.